Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, take my glasses off, reflecting at you. How are you all? I hope you're well. The 1st of October. Goodness me, isn't this year flying? It certainly feels like it for me. Okay, so today I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the garden and the cats. There's quite a lot to do. I was sort of planning a whole week of trying to put everything else to one side and just have a complete gardening week, because I feel like I've sort of earned it. I deserve it. I love my garden time, and the weather, at least as it is today, is perfect. It's a lovely temperature. I've got my hoodie on at the moment, but it's the sort of day where really within minutes of starting work the hoodie would come off. Here's the thing. We're due a whole week of rain. Oh, so it's not going to happen. Never mind. Oh, Rusty. Oh my goodness, these cats. So, yes, we'll crack on with the tour. And because there is quite a bit still to do, I just sort of, as we go around, I'll explain what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. And then just try to fit all that in between rain showers where I can. Actually, I'm really quite warm enough to do without my hoodie. Now the other thing is, bear with me if I'm a bit either wobbly or stiff with the camera today. I've done my back in again. Let's not dwell on it. Rather, let's get outside and see how the garden is looking at the beginning of October and what gorgeous food there is still to enjoy. Just before we go up the garden path, a little update on the bits and pieces outside the shed, including our little Rosie there. All of these pots and trays, they're waiting to go home to be washed, but I haven't taken them yet because I keep filling my trolley full of harvests, yay! So in these couple of trays, I've got, this is the Taunton Dean cuttings and the 2 surviving honeysuckle cuttings. They've all rooted, they've all been doing really well, but then ironically, look, the ones that are under the tool have had a right royal nibbling, but you can see they're coming back to life, so there's hope for them. And also, I think I've now found homes for all of them amongst my plot neighbours. These 2 are looking particularly good. They look great. So that's another job for October, is to get at least one of these into my garden. I think with the honeysuckle, beautiful colour, isn't it? It looks so vibrant and lush. I might wait until the spring to plant those. And the very, very, very late going in pelargonium cuttings are flowering beautifully. As an experiment this year, because I've got so many cuttings and I still got so many parent plants, I'm thinking of leaving these in and just maybe fleecing the trough a bit, see if they can manage over winter without being taken indoors. Okay, right, chop chop, let's go to the top of the garden. I don't know if you'll be able to tell straight away, but we've had rain. Oh my goodness, finally some rain. So even though it's the very beginning of October, there is still a bit of green, there's still a bit of growth, a bit of colour here and there. So, here we are in the top bed. I'm now letting all my cosmos go over to seed. Ooh, I'm thinking I might deadhead a few just so I get a few more flowers. But they've been such a lovely splash all summer, as have this big clump of verbena that were transplants from Gary's garden. Oh, little pops of calendula and occasional bit of love in a mist. This love in a mist down here, that's its second go. It came up in the spring, went to seed, dropped seed, and they've grown again. Goodness me, shows how mild it's been. So, this bed is going to see a lot of action. Well, it should have seen a lot of action today, but with the bad back, not. So the minute it stops raining, this bed's going to have the most work done on it. Nothing to do here apart from harvest and eat and enjoy. This is the beautiful curly kale. Oh, it's been doing brilliantly. I've been having feeds from this quite regularly. And then behind are the cauliflowers. These were someone's spares. I've never grown cauliflowers before. Whole row there. No sign of any curds. Is that a curd? No. No sign of any curds. But the leaves look beautiful to me. I've never eaten cauliflower leaves. I mean, I eat pretty much all brassica leaves, but having not grown them myself before, I've never eaten the leaves, but they look great to me. So I might harvest a few leaves to scoff. Yum, yum, yum. The irony is, after the panic at the beginning of the year about brassicas in general, I think I've got more in the garden this year than ever before. This was the not chickpea, this was the cocoa de Pam Pole Bed. I was mentioning this the other day that we had a working party, so this is all grass clippings, but sort of mixed in. If I bring you closer, you can see it's sort of all mixed in with the chopped up cocoa de Pam Pole plants. So the plants were quite dry, the grass was quite wet, so they had a good mix. I need to get this bed covered, but I wanted it to get a dose of rain, one dose of rain before covering, to get it really good and moist. But also I need to find a little bit more material just to put on the ground there, behind the flowers. That's the Douglasii limnanthes, the poached eggplants. They're determined to have a second run at it this year as well. So these beauties started coming in March, flowered, was it about mid-March right through April? So yeah, I just leave the flowers here to do their own thing. If there's too many, if they get in the way, if they get in and choke out the veg, just pull handfuls out. Oh, ready for some colour? Oh, isn't this a lovely sight? Little pops of autumn colour. Right, let's have a closer look. So, the bean arches, this row of arches, 2 rows of canes either side, these have been stripped of all their beans now. All this green material, this was the gigantes. They're really not going to come to anything now. Now, I could just leave them and do them one day, you know, in 2 months when I'm ready, but it'd be quite useful to get them down now and get all this green stuff chopped up so I can add it to the quite considerable amount of brown stuff that's coming. So yeah, it'll be useful to get all this down now purely for the green, but never mind the has-beens. Look at the paprika peppers. What beauties. Absolute beauties. So for anyone who hasn't seen these before, these are a Hungarian paprika pepper called Fehér Ozon. They are a sweet pepper, so rather like a sort of an orange bell pepper. They are a sweet pepper, but they just pack a bit more punch in their flavour than a regular bell pepper. Oh, aren't they magnificent? These need harvesting. Yes. So they start a very pale, creamy yellow. They gradually get a bit darker yellow. Just walk through a cobweb. A bit darker yellow. And then to an orange. And then eventually to the red. Now, we are still quite mild. At least we don't have any forecast of frost. So some of these I could leave a little while, see if they'll ripen. They probably won't now, so I will eat them when they're this colour too. They won't. They'll be slightly more bitter than when they're really, really red. The red ones will be really sweet. Yum, yum, yum. More seed saving, of course. And then this bed is supposed to be the cream of the crop squash, which are these beautiful creamy ribbed ones with the slight point, and they're gorgeous. Gorgeous. There are supposed to be 3 plants. There are only 2 because I got in a muddle. I'll talk about the model in a second. So I've got a couple there. I had 2 here, but I tried to move them slightly the other day so I could trim the grass on the main, that's the main footpath that everyone uses. Because I was trying to do a grass cut, I was trying to bring this further into the bed. I snapped one off, so that's in the shed at the moment. And there's also another one hanging from this teepee. So they've done all right. A couple per plant. It's better than nothing. But then this beauty. Oh my goodness, what can one say about the beautiful Rouge Vif de Tombe? It's an absolute gorgeosity. Isn't that the perfect sort of image of autumn? Oh, little snail family taking up residence there. By the way, that brick, this brick, it's not there for any reason other than to hold down the cardboard. I don't bother putting my squash onto, you see some people put them onto tiles or slates or on a bit of wood and various other things to raise them off the ground. I've never bothered, and it's not been an issue. Yum, yum, yum. I wonder if we can come out this way today, now that the foliage is all dying back a bit. Yes, we can. And you can see pretty much all of the squash foliage in this bed has died back now. It's great, because then it reveals these lovely treasures. So this is a pair of yellow scallop. Never tried those before. Don't know how they're going to taste. Don't quite know how they're going to store. Time will tell. The end of this bed had butternut squash in. They're very piddly tiddly. There's one. And there's another which has barely shown any signs of ripening. And one tucked into there. They're really quite small. They would only do as a meal for 2 people. But actually that's fine for me. For example, one this size, I'll halve it and have one half roasted one evening and the other half I'll make into soup. But with the addition of other bits in the soup, I can probably get 2 to 4 portions of soup from it. Good stuff. And let's face it, you know, the smaller ones in terms of using and preserving are much easier to deal with than the stonkers like the Rouge. And then finally in the climbing squash, 2 little babies down there. They've got a way to go to ripen. This is Jack B. Little. So the first ones that came and have therefore matured, ripened the most are these 2 beauties. And look at the colour. Isn't that gorgeous? But they are pretty dinky. I mean, one of those isn't a complete meal. I definitely have to have it with something else. Or, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to eat it with something else. Will I do them again? I'll see how they taste. Another couple there. And then right up here in the top against the light, another couple. Yeah, I'm going to see how they taste. I'm not going to dismiss them right now just for being small, because if they taste gorgeous, and they were such a beautiful plant while they were growing all summer, they don't take up too much space, so from that point of view, yes, I'd be happy to do them again. Right, so this whole bed, oh, and I forgot to show you the slightly weird shaped delicata. They're in here. Yeah. What a pair of weirdos. He's hoping that they taste all right. That's almost certainly a pollination issue. But if they taste all right, I don't care what they look like. Okay, so that whole bed needs attention in the coming couple of days. Well, coming couple of weeks. So that means in a week's time, after all the rain. And now then, this bed, hey Rusty, this is the main crop spuds. This I was supposed to be having out today, but because of my back, I'm not going to be daft. I'm just going to leave it. There's no harm in leaving it another week or so, but, oh, let me come the other way. But yeah, they need to come out in order that I can put my garlic in, because then this will be garlic until June next year. And next door to them, purple sprouting broccoli have reached the top of these tunnels. Gorgeous. Do you remember what scraps they were when they went in? Well, they're massive now. Actually, there's two on their own at the end that were too many for the tunnels. Beautiful, healthy looking plants. Yeah, they've had a bit of a nibble here and there, but they're surviving. Hopefully in another 2 to 4 weeks I can get all these covers off, because the cabbage white butterflies will have disappeared. And that'll be a lovely moment, because suddenly I'll have all this green in the garden to look at again. This is the chard. It's doing okay. It did suffer a bit from mildew this summer. I think just, oh, look at those colours. I think it was just too hot and dry for them. So there was a bit of mildew, but they seem to be recovering okay now. They'll do. Last few beetroot in here. I really will have those away in the next couple of days or so. Repeat sowing with carrots. And there are a few showing. Is it too late? It really is very, very late, but you never know. And on the end here, the lovely perpetual spinach. So it's nice to have the spinach and the chard as a slightly, how to put it, a sort of slightly lighter leaf for scoffing when I get bored of brassicas. Well, not that I get bored of brassicas, but just as a nice sort of an alternative taste. This is the now empty rock and core bed. Again, a bit of crop and drop going on. Need to find a bit more to cover here. This is, oh, let's go this way. This is the, the completely random climbing bean. No idea what it is. That's quite nice though. Oh, I should have a scoff of those. It almost looks like helder. It feels like helder. It's definitely not helder. Not with these flowers. Wee beauties. And then further along, oh, the sun's coming out. Let me come this way. This is the crop and drop chickpea. You can see there's all the empty pods. After I'd applied these, I came back a couple of days later and the pods were all across the path. I think the mice had been in, hoping for a chickpea smorgasbord. They'd be disappointed. And these were some real kind of random stragglers of my brassicas, which frankly I was about to give up on, but I thought, you know what, I've got the space, whack them in, see what happens, and they're looking gorgeous. I mean, they're small, but they're healthy, they're looking vigorous, so yeah, can't remember what any of them are. We'll just have to wait and see as the winter progresses. Oh my goodness. You know what, I really could pick some more calendula flowers. I've got masses of seed, so yes, why not? Actually, I could do with doing some more seed harvesting. I could do a bit of both, a bit of seed harvesting and a bit of flower harvesting for balms. October, who'd have thought it, eh? Parsnips looking grand. Of course I won't know until I actually get down there amongst them and dig them out, what they've all done. that won't be for another, at least a couple of months yet, probably 3 or 4 months. The volunteer tomatoes in these beds have done great. A few more to pick. How long can they possibly go on for? Who knows, we'll see. But they'll be coming out soon, no doubt. And then this is so much about brassicas now. Actually, the sun might be doing us a favour, coming out strongly so suddenly. Rusty buddy, I need to come down this path. Please, may I pass? Cutie. Do you remember 3 weeks ago, just 3 weeks ago, these were my prickings out. Seedlings, tiny little things they were. They're doing great. I'm chuffed. Oh gosh, I have to stand up straight a sec. My back is really cronky today. So yeah, I can't wait to get the covers off so I can see everything properly. What I can see through here is I've lost two probably, I think probably slugs at this stage. But when you consider what teeny tiny little scraps they were, the fact that I've got anything at all is amazing. In the nets behind, that's the Capolinero. Let's come this way. Doing great. It's at the top of the nets again. Can't wait to get these nets off. Underplanted, with carrots. Doing brilliantly. Next door. Let's see if we can have a sneaky peek up through the tunnel. This is, what's in here? Is this cabbages? Yeah. Again, these were the tiniest, weeniest little scraps of seedlings. What I can see, hang on, let's get behind. You see that? That's the mulch, the sprouting. I think it's calendula seeds. But yeah, I mean, these were so pathetic. I really, really didn't know if they'd do anything. I can't wait to show you in November, because then once all the nets are off, you can actually see what I'm talking about and what I get excited about, because otherwise, you really can't see through, can you? The lovely flint corn. That's another one. Need to start thinking about harvesting. And you see on the top, of the cob, the tassels are really brown, as opposed to sort of pale yellow, creamy yellow. That means it's pollinated. I did notice one around here the other day. I think it's telling me it's ready to be picked. It's bursting out the top. That's, I could pick them now, but actually I quite like to leave them on the plant to dry as long as possible. Now, because we've got a whole week of rain coming, there's no point in me picking in the rain. So let the rain come, let them swell up a little bit more maybe, and then in the meantime I'll prioritise harvesting my tender things, tomatoes, peppers, squash, what have you. These can wait. Give it a few days after the rain, once we've had wind and sunshine to dry them out, then I'll harvest. I think the celery enjoyed the rain. This is such beautiful, lush stuff now. It looks gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Yum, yum, yum. This is when the celery really comes into its own in autumn and winter. I'll use it as a cut and come again for so many meals. Soups, stews, you name it. Great handfuls of this stuff in there. Beautiful. Next door. The ridiculous Fennel Bed. So do you remember these are the little plugs I put in about 3 weeks ago? There's the two little seedlings I'd noticed had come off. Look, they're so tiny. But I might get something, you never know. I mean, it's not a record-breaking bulb, but it'll be tasty. an edible and I'll enjoy it. Oh, isn't the light through here at the moment beautiful? Oh, it is a lovely time of year, isn't it? Okay, Vivi, moving on. Oh, standing up slowly, back. The horizontal squash bed. In places, actually, I've trimmed some of the foliage back. Do you remember it was all along this path and it was trailing up there right up to my compost bin. When we had our community work day, I just wanted to give everything a good mow. So I trimmed a lot of this foliage. It's just starting to die back now and of course reveal the treasures. Look at this one. This is an absolute stonker. Am I going to be able to get that in to show you? So there's my hand. Oh, it's massive. I'll show it to you properly when I harvest. But yeah, I think I counted about 10 butternuts in here the other day. Again, not fantastic compared with previous years, but listen, 10, I'll take it. It's better than nothing. And then they escaped, if you remember, and they've come across here into the pepper and cucumber bed. So I'm delighted. The cucumber bed may be over, but the squash aren't. Oh yeah, I need to do some pepper picking. The orange bell haven't been as good this year. Oh, I'm going to show you my experiment in a second. They haven't been great this year. Not quite sure why. I have a tendency to blame everything on the heat and the dryness this year. Another butternut in there hiding. Yeah, they've struggled. Let me come this way. They've struggled to get to any size. That's an all right one. I'm just going to have to be having one of those years where I'm grateful for whatever I get in terms of the peppers. Do you remember though, coming this way, oh I bent funny, I kept some of them in the cold frame. Look at these beauties. Aren't they gorgeous? Now, what I'm thinking about is doing a little bit of an overwintering experiment. I kind of think the cold frame will be too cold. They need to come indoors, but there's nowhere indoors for them. But I'm going to leave all these plants. I might fleece them up a bit. But yeah, they're going to stay in here over winter, see if they survive, see if they produce again next year. That'd be great. Oh, they're so beautiful. I can't take my eyes off them. It's the colour, isn't it? It's just... oh, scrum diddly, gorgeous. Let's get that foliage out of the way, have a proper look. Scrum diddly, beautiful colour. What a happy sight. And then, almost last, but not least, oh my goodness, tomatoes. Tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Look, they're still coming. This is crazy. And this is the gardener's delight. Now, at about this time of year normally, these would come out and I would be planting my broad beans. They show no signs of stopping. The rain obviously may change that this week. All this rain may mean blight comes. But, yeah, I'm in a dilemma. I can't decide whether to have these 2 rows out to put the broad beans in and leave the Gardener's Delight in to carry on producing, or take the Gardener's Delight out and leave these 2 rows to carry on producing. I might take out the Gardener's Delight because actually I've got tons of Gardener's Delight harvested and stored already, but these are my sort of sauce making. But now I'm having a look. I think, yeah, still coming. Have I got enough here to make sauce? Look, I'll have to have a think about it. What I'll probably do is come this way a second. Stand back so you can see them all. What I shall probably do is count, or have a rough count of what I've got in here compared to what I've got in here and what's to come, and whichever has the least can be ripped out and made way for broad beans. I think actually I'm going to rip these out because these are such sturdy plants. I mean, obviously they're very much fading, they're very much dying back. All of this isn't disease or anything to worry about, it's just the plants are naturally dying back. They've been working hard all summer. Oh, beauties. Absolutely. I mean, this is not an October picture, is it? This is a August picture. What's wrong with this picture? Okay. Oh, I think I need to do some more picking today. You beauties. And then finally, the herb bed and the deck. There's not much to do here over winter. A bit of pruning. I'll leave the hyssop alone because those seed heads will be good bird food. Bit of pruning here and there. Hopefully get this rhubarb out to put it down there, and then in its place some sort of pond, even if it's a washing up bowl. Haven't found anything yet. I'm keeping a look at. French lavender still to harvest. Look at these. That colour of the blueberry bush. No, fabulous. These pelargoniums I will bring into the shed, as they are in these pots to overwinter. They didn't really come to much this year. They went in so late because of compost issues, but you know, they're away now, so hopefully I'll keep them alive over winter. This is my space for the other rhubarb. Again, these transplanted verbena. Oh, they're so beautiful. I'll leave these all to go over to seed, like their compatriots at the back there, for bird food. Yay! Oh, and then almost lastly, this bed that is massively self-seeded with lavender mist. This is where I'm going to put the Taunton Dean. So to just give you a bit of perspective, we're here at the very end of the garden. We go all the way up this path, right to the top where the teepees are. This is the very back end compost bins, cold frame obviously. It can get big here and it won't be in the way. Woohoo! Oh yeah, compost bin. The lid is off. I've got a mixture in here of some green and then really quite brown dry material. So I'm leaving the lid off for 24 hours or so. I want to give it all a really good soaking from the rain. Oh, here comes the wind. Get it good and moist, whack the lid on, and then all that moisture and the warmth we're still having, hopefully it can compost down a little bit. Oh, I'm just reaching for one that's outside the bin. And that's going to go on beds as they become empty in the next few weeks I mean. Oh, and then it will be time to put the deck chair. Oh, yeah. Time to put the deck chair away for another year. Right, let me just have a seat on my work stool. Oh, are you there? Where's that sun? Gosh, it's bright. Let's try and turn. Oh my goodness. Lots to do, but it's all really great jobs. It's funny, the other day I was saying about how I can't bear the end of summer and I always dread winter. Actually, when it comes to the garden, this is such a great time. I love it. There's so much stuff to do that's great. Harvesting and tidying and all those things that get my juices going. So, hopefully, my back will ease. This rain we're having will come and pass through, and by next week I can be out here every day playing, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's playing. Okay, it's a bit of work at times, but mostly it's play. Here's Rusty back for another cuddle. So, I will see you soon, I hope. I don't know whether it'll be in the garden or not, depends on the weather, but I will see you all really soon. So in the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other and enjoy your autumn harvests.